This weekend is the first weekend of October, so we're enjoying some lovely, cool fall weather outside. And for those of you keeping score at home, that means it's almost been 2 months that we've been in charge of Mrs. Pumpkins as the new co-owners. And so I want to take a minute. It's been a little while since I've made a video and put out into the world, and just take a moment to kind of decompress and think about what's been happening, sort of process through some of that. And so I was kind of struggling to figure out what I wanted my next video to be. And one of the things that happened this week was really interesting, kind of set me on a course to help me understand what I think is the best next sort of video topic to talk about. And so let me start here. So one of the things I've found to be both really interesting and a big challenge early on as a first-time entrepreneur is this idea that as the leader of a business, you are required to wear a lot of hats throughout the day. And I always think about things in cheesy analogies, which you'll come to either love or hate about me. And I think about it in a closet, right? You have a closet at home, you have different hats. Each hat has a different responsibility. And as an entrepreneur, multiple times a day, you're going in, you're grabbing a different hat. You're grabbing your finance hat, or your operations hat, or your supply chain hat, or your HR hat, or your coaching hat. And you're putting these all on and taking them off throughout the day. And it's really interesting. And I really love the dynamic of having to do that and being able to just see different parts of the business from so many different angles in such a short period of time. That's also really challenging because where I've come from in corporate America and in previous careers, the responsibilities that I've had have been sort of pretty clearly delineated, where one team starts and one team stops, right? Where responsibilities start and finish, and then where another team sort of picks up. And, working in the corporate side, you always work together well with the other team. So when I was in finance, we worked well with our cross-functional partners in the supply chain or in marketing. But it was pretty clear what was finance responsibility, what was marketing responsibility, right? And so now as an entrepreneur, all of that kind of falls under my purview. Between my business partner and I, we're required to think about things from all those perspectives. And so what that led to this last week was me trying my first go at being a salesperson, really in a true sales-oriented environment. And what came to mind was this idea that Megan has brought to my attention. It comes from Brene Brown. It's called FFTs, or the PG version is freaking first time. You can imagine the adult version replace the first word with something a little more animated. But it's the idea that when we as mere mortals, and even the greats of the world, try something new for the first time, we're not going to be good at it. We're going to be pretty terrible at it. But by trying to do that over and over again, figuring some things out, sort of embracing the path that you eventually become better at it. It takes some bravery, right? But over time, you develop that skill and you start to craft it. So my first time as a salesperson this week, I decided I was going to go talk to a couple customers and potentially see if they wanted to put our products on their shelves. And so I was super amped up, really excited to go out and do this. And so I get in the car and I have some sales materials with me, and I'm driving to my first account, and I get in front of them and I realize I didn't really think about what I was going to say when I got to this point. I had in the car, I had a box full of samples to give to them, forgot that they were there, forgot some of my sales materials, left my pen in the car. So I'm just fumbling through this whole thing. But through all those mistakes, what I kind of tried to make sure I stayed present in the moment was, I'm learning a lot of things right now. I'm learning about how some things are going really sideways on me, but I'm also learning how I can do things a lot better next time. And so I tried to really just focus and think about, what can I be taking away from this moment? And then the next one will be a little bit better. The next one will hopefully be a little bit better and continue to build on that momentum. And so as I wrapped up that day, I came away with a lot of energy and a lot of excitement about how much better I can become at this, how excited I was just to engage and connect with somebody who may be a customer in the future, and think about how we can use our business model to help solve for something on their end, within their business, right? How could we be successful and help them be successful? And it's really interesting just to be in that sales role for the first time and really embrace the challenge of it. And so being able to take that sales hat, put it on, and then take it back off and go solve for something else was something that was really interesting about this past week. And so if you're out there trying something for the first time, I would invite you just to think about that a little bit, right? It's that we're never going to be good when we try things for the first time. We're probably going to fumble it, we're going to stumble over some things, we're going to trip over ourselves, but if we go do it a second time, we'll stumble a little bit less, hopefully, and then a little bit less the next time. And so that was a really helpful lesson for me to take away from this last week. So if that's helpful for you, use it in whatever way you think makes sense for you. So that's my topic for the week, month, whatever you want to call it. But I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there and enjoying this lovely